So I got into management through my son, my first son. He was scouted and was signed with Ford Models. And so I was one of those moms, moms taking their children to auditions and, just learning the business, that side. And I have a business, I'm a business person myself. Prior to that, I was running a preschool with 250 students from 3 months to kindergarten. So I kind of shifted. I kind of knew the management, and I just like that hands-on approach. And so I think I kind of got bit by the bug, and I'm there and I'm at the auditions and I'm seeing all of these parents. I wanted to learn more about the business. And so one day I was transitioning from my previous ownership of the daycare into I want to just become a full manager, and I wanted to really learn the business. And so I started to connect with some of my colleagues in the industry, and they're like, the best way to learn is to literally be hands-on. They were filming the tours were being filmed at that time, and Twinkie Bird, who is from Jamaica, and Wendy, they both worked hand in hand, and she was from New Jersey. And she's like, hey, you're a local person in the area. Do you have any talents? And I explained to her I was just starting my management. And she's like, no, let's hook up and things like that. And I really started to work with, she invited me to some of the casting while they were doing the casting, her and Twinkie Bird. And I remember saying, I like this too. But however, I did like the management side of what I was seeing on my son's side and that experience with him. He started to internship with other managers and things like that. And I was like, yes, between casting and that, this is what I really want to do. You seem like it was that easy. No, right. You have to. I've fallen many times, gotten back up, fallen many times, gotten back up. The key in becoming a successful manager is surrounding yourself with the people who are the true managers in the industry. Because sometimes we meet people in this industry and everybody wants to be something, and they're really not. And so I've had those things happen to me, and then I just happened to really got into the right circle of people who were able to really kind of help and guide me. And I was like, this is what I want to become. Because for me, being a manager, I take it quite seriously. I had to have those bumps and, in the road in order to navigate yourself to where you really want to be. I had a haha moment, and I don't think that I've completely made it. I think it's every day is a growing experience, and we want to learn something new and make new connections in the industry. So even my actors, I say, I learn every day as well too, because production changes and things changes. But my aha moment, let's start with that, is when I started dating my present husband. His name is Michael Wright, and he's the actor who was lead in the 5 Heartbeats, Michael Wright. I met him, and he had he was a great resource for helping me. And I remember him introducing me to his attorney, Jay Julian. Michael introduced me to him, and he's telling me, he says, Michael said you're a manager. And I'm like, yes, I'm a manager. I'm looking to work my way up to become a successful manager and to really do some awesome things with talent. And he said, tell me about your past. I told him about my past, and I'm just learning. And I was probably 3 years into management at that time, still very green. And so he gave me a task, and the task was, he says, I'm going to give you a task. And that task was, he wanted me to reach out to, there was an agent at ICM. If you can get from the receptionist to this particular agent, you have 2 weeks. And I said to myself, okay, that's a piece of cake. I'm charming. I'm smart. No one is going to speak to me. If no one really knows you and you're new, and that's a big agency, they're not going to take your call. They're not going to take your call. They're going to keep ignoring you. And so I was like, So easy. I pick up the phone, I made the first call, asked who I'm supposed to speak with, a particular agent, and the receptionist says to me, "Oh, they're very busy at the moment. It's pilot season. No one is taking any calls." I said, "Okay, thank you." Okay. I figured I'll call back like 2 days later. Call back, same thing. Now I'm almost the end of a week now, and I haven't gotten in touch with this individual. And I sent emails, and I was like, well, this in particular entertainment attorney asked me to reach out to you. So now I'm name dropping, thinking that would open a door.
Right.
Send emails, didn't happen. I was like, oh my God, I'm failing at this. How terrible. And so I got all dressed, looking really cute and looking sharp, and I showed up to get in touch with X. And I was referred because I need to speak with them regarding a particular client that they're working with, and I just haven't been connected. This particular agent happened to hear the conversation walking by. So, "Hi, Susan. Hi. Oh, nice to meet you." And I would say my second aha moment was sitting with the heads of Buckwall Agency, and with the Sharks renewing a contract, for the first time. 7 people from each different departments, and having like a 120 contract going through each page. And that was my first moment. I was like, wow, I'm leveling up. In my management style, I just met with 15 actors yesterday. And I say to them, I'm a hands-on manager. Being hands-on, understand and know the client, whether they're a child or an adult. If you don't know your client, you will not be able to successfully have a healthy relationship, or being able to pitch that client and to get them better opportunities. So everyone who's on my roster, I have 158 clients, and I have 3 offices: New York, Los Angeles, and my new office in Atlanta. I make it a priority to know each talent on my roster. I've had lunch with them, I've had probably coffee with them or something, but it's something that I know. So when I am working in their best interest, or when I'm speaking to a casting director, or when I'm speaking to a production company, I can really know my talent. And I've learned to do that as well, because in the beginning when I started, I remember I was devastated the first time. I sent somebody out, not the first time, but, sent somebody out for an audition, and not an audition, they had an audition and they booked it, and they were supposed to show up the set. And then I'm getting a call from the production saying, this person's not here. And then I'm calling this person, and they're saying to me, "Oh, I had a bad night. Me and my boyfriend had a fight, and I'm going to be there in an hour." Things, and how not to have those other things happen to me again, because at the end of the day, it is a business, and you're hired to do something, and they're relying on your manager to make sure, or your agent, that you get there and that you're there. And I don't care what outside issues you're having, you need to be there. So you have so many things that comes up. And so I kind of learn how to be more understanding someone. When someone sits before they're assigned to my roster, I want to know a little bit about your background. Like, is there any issues? Is there any health issues? Is there any this? Is there any that? Just so, and if there's things involved in there, I kind of know how to help you. And I say, be honest, be open with me. If a situation arises, call me. Don't be ever scared to call me, because then that's the only way I can better serve you to make this work between you and I and production, or whatever we're working on. That's where my foundation is from. And I always go back to that. I am never lost. I stay grounded to my truth and to who I am, and I think I've seen my mom and dad work so hard, especially to bring us to the States, and I think that foundation about being truthful to whatever it is you do, I've never wavered from that. So I'm grateful for that Caribbean, upbringing, that strictness, but still being loving and kind and giving. And I listen to people, and I'm not quick to judge. And that's how I grew up in my household, the Briggs family. And I just carried that always through my adulthood and into my children as well.